It is becoming more common for police to misuse their powers of arrest to exploit the public's inherent trust within them. For whatever reason, should you be stopped, detained, or arrested by the police within the UK, it is your right to ask questions as to why the police have stopped you, and they cannot refuse to answer you the following. Number 1. Am I detained? If it is unclear, always ask first if you are actually being detained for a stop and search or are being arrested. They oftentimes don't make this clear, and they should very well be able to tell you if you are free to walk away from them or not. Just because a police officer has approached you and is asking you questions, that doesn't necessarily mean you are detained and cannot walk away. They cannot force you to stand there and answer questions. Number 2. Section. If you are detained, ask under what section of the law. A section is usually the word section, followed by a number, the legal act it represents, followed by the year and the crime that they think you've committed. For example, Section 39 of the Criminal Justice Act, 1988 for common assault. Number 3. Grounds. The next thing you should ask for is for what grounds. This stands for reasonable grounds, which is the explanation as to why they've concluded that you've broken a law. A reasonable ground can be anything that can be explained and justifiable to a reasonable member of the public. So, for example, reasonable grounds could be, we have been informed or have evidence to believe that a person matching your exact description has assaulted someone within this area. Notice the specificity when it comes to the assault, description, and descriptive language such as exact. The more specific, the more reasonable. Usually, when officers are abusing the law, they are not able to give you specifics that would tie you to an actual crime, but rather dance around it. So unreasonable grounds would be, we've been informed by a third party that someone matching your description is acting suspiciously, and there has been a lot of assaults in this area, so for that reason you are being detained. This is not reasonable grounds, as the language is vague, unspecific, and subject to interpretation. Search record. The last thing that you should ask for is a search record, even if the 2 points above were addressed correctly. This is essentially a receipt for your stop and search, and this will give you evidence to use for what is called a civil claim. The biggest civil claim solicitors in the UK is HNK Solicitors, who deal with a lot of unlawful stop and searches and arrests. I will put a link to their website in the description. However, sometimes the police will, for whatever reason, not give a search record. They may tell you to visit their station to receive one. You must know which station they come from and what collar number the officer had that was dealing with you, as this will be asked from you when you get to the reception. So to surmise, am I detained? Section, grounds, search record. The acronym is ASGS, asks, as in a wise person always asks questions.